What up, G Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and are subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free. You'll help my channel get into the algorithm. I would highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Forget to check out my second channel, M.O.D Society. M.O.D, we'll talk about stuff outside the series and straight stuff too. Now, what I've been seeing, arguments between, individuals back and forth, right? Because when you're a YouTuber, you get this app, right? And this app allows you to see every time somebody comments on any of your videos, no matter how old the video is or anything like that. As soon as they leave a comment, you get a notification on your phone, like a text message, right? So it's like if you're getting a text message, right? So you're able to see people's, conversations and stuff like that, right? That they go, back and forth because it alerts you of any, comment on any of your videos, right? So I'd be seeing, people going back and forth, right? And one of the arguments I've been seeing of lately is, exposing people or people being exposed and this and that on YouTube, right? Some people say that, good, is what they get. And some people say that who cares? Why should people care so much about these individuals? And, I want to drop my 2 cents. Now, I have always said this. If somebody is lying, right, no matter how small the lie is, you cannot be upset when somebody is calling them out on the lie, right? If somebody is coming with the truth and speaking the truth, you can't be mad at that. You can only be mad at the lie or the person for lying in the first place, right? He shouldn't have never lied. This shit would have never happened, right? So you can't justify and defend the bad behavior, right? Just because you want to sympathize with it. I stay away from all of that, right? Because I personally don't care, right? But I am not upset when people do it, right? Because people have the right to, drop whatever kind of content that they want on their channel and talk about whoever they want on their channel, just like everybody else. It only becomes a problem when now it's attacking a person in which you like, right? Being biased, right? Because when other people speak about other people, you don't have no problem with it, right? So it's not how the world works, right? You can't be mad when somebody is coming with the truth, plain and simple, right? Now, people could say, you can't tell somebody, what they've been through or where they've been or this and that. If the world was to work like that, then I could walk into any place and be like, hello, I'm a professor at, UCLA. Well, you're not going to tell me where I've been and where I have studied, right? I know where I have studied and where I have been. You're not going to tell me. If the world was to really work like that, really, no. But guess what they do? They verify, what you're saying. They go and they check what you're saying that way to see if it's true or not. The stuff that people say sometimes, it leaves me scratching my head. Like, that's why people go and look, check the background, bro, to see if they're telling the truth or not. Because if people were just to go on what people say, that is something that somebody who manipulates would love to say, right? Because they would love to just tell without people going and verifying. That way they could get away with stuff. They wish that the world would actually work like that. That's why they try to push that agenda. But in the real world and in real life, you have to verify what people say. And you cannot be mad when it turns out that you were lying. The fact that people get mad about that is mind-baffling, bro. But it goes back to the illness, right? Because people want to be able to tell whatever tells, but they have to be true. They could be your stories, but they have to be true. Now, there's a difference if a person comes on there and is telling a fictional story, but he lets you know, this is a fictional story, but, I'm going to let you know. And, people dig fictional stories. I myself love fictional books, you know what I mean? But because they come straightforward, instead of it being somebody telling me that this story is true, and then I find out that it's not true, because then I'm going to be upset. But if they would have told me that it's a fake story from the beginning, there would be no problem. But it's the fact that you're trying to lie and pull one over on somebody that becomes the problem. People don't have a problem with a person's, overall fib, right? It's the fact that they chose to lie about it, right? People wouldn't have cared. But it's the lies that makes you look bad, right? Because it's a common trait that these individuals do, right? You see it happen with Whack 100. You've seen it happen with a C-Mac. You've seen it happen with Savage Studios, Tekashi 69, and individuals like that, right? Who choose to come on the internet and talk a lot of shit, right? They talk a lot of shit. They diss everybody and their mothers, right? They act recklessly. And then time and time again, videos have surfaced and stuff has happened to these individuals, right? But look at their success. They blew up really fast and they grabbed a lot of, following and subscribers and views and all of that in the process. But look what happens, because behaviors like that are not tolerated. It might get you success, but it's only a matter of time before it comes crashing down. That is the reason why these people come at these individuals with that kind of energy, because that's the kind of energy these people give off. They talk shit about other people. They call other people snitches and fakes and lames and weenies and pussies and this and that. When then it turns out that these people were everything that they used to make fun of everybody for. The very thing that they used to call all these individuals, they themselves have on their jackets. Right? And that's what people have an issue with. How are you going to be able to call somebody this and that when you yourself are that? And try to pretend like you're not. People wouldn't have had a problem with all these individuals if they were just to come and be straightforward on, about themselves. But it's the fact that they try to lie and pretend and portray to be something that they're not, or act like they're something they're not. And people can't even say that those are lies because videos are out there of them themselves speaking and doing what they say that they don't do. You get what I'm saying? That's the more crazier part. The videos are still there of these individuals talking shit and going in on people. Yet people talk about, oh, I'm a man for admitting my mistakes, or I at least could admit this. No, you didn't. All these people that have came out, exposing, Tekashi 69, Whack 100, Savage, C-Mac, and even other YouTubers, right? They have always said these people are lying. They're making up stuff that's not true. And then it turns out that it is true. And then they say, well, at least I'm a man to admit it. Yeah, after you were saying that they're lying and whoever believes that are suckers and everything, but now you're confessing and now you're saying at least you're a man, and then people buy that. Hey, at least he confessed. At least he says what he did. Yeah, after he denied it and called everybody fools, and now backed into a corner where they had no choice but to confess. And now, since they say that, people are going to just forget about all of that, right? And it's those kind of behaviors, right? And it's the fact that they do those kind of things that makes these people fake people, right? The worst of the worst, right? How could you believe anything these individuals say when they, in order to even get them to admit the actual truth about themselves, you have to go through this whole chaos of denial and and reflecting to other people, and it's ridiculous. These individuals don't just come willingly and freely and admit to all their errors. They had to get called out, and all these people had to be putting out all this evidence and everything like that in order for these individuals to now admit that they were tricking people by lying to them. You should be insulted that they even thought that you were that stupid that they could pull a fast one on you. But see, people like that have charisma, charm, and stuff like that, right? And since people like the jokes, because people like other people talking shit about other people because it makes them laugh, right? But those are bad behaviors. You shouldn't do that. Insulting people's weight or if they're disabled, handicap, disabilities, or even facial attractions and stuff like that is bad behavior, bro, in general. But it's bad behavior that fuels the internet. It's what people come on the internet to see, right? Because individuals, people speaking like that is how individuals wish that they could speak in the real world, or how they feel about certain things, right? But those are bad behaviors. And then people get mad when bad behaviors, get regulated, right? And they get regulated the overall masses, right? Because there's only few individuals in the world, even though it's a lot. There's more people that have rational ways of living and thinking than individuals who have bad behaviors to them. But obviously, bad behaviors are going to stick together, so they're still going to have a support and following of individuals who behave like these individuals. Liars will stick with liars, and stuff like that, right? Um, and this is the honest truth, from somebody who studies human behavior. Um, a person doesn't have to say anything to tell you a million things, right? It's one of the things that you learn when you study human behavior. Um, Face expressions, body movement, body language. Um, all of those things tell you about an individual. If they're lying, if they're being, manipulative, if they're frustrated, stressed, happy, all of those things, you could read off of somebody by them not just saying anything at all, right? Uh, Now somebody could come and say something, but their actions could say the complete opposite of that, right? And people have to pay attention to that instead of just believing what they're being told. Is what you're being told matching the person's behavior and overall? If a person says he's sincere and that he's a good person and he's this and that, but then he's over here insulting people and calling them names and shysting people and stuff like that, then how is this individual a good person? You know what I mean? Then clearly, the lies keep coming and coming and coming. You know, they are not sorry. They could say it, but if their actions show something completely different, then those words are empty, bro. They mean nothing. If you have to tell somebody to apologize, why even accept that apology if you have to tell them to apologize? An apology should come willingly because the person sees that he did something wrong, therefore they come and apologize willingly. But if you apologize to me, how is that? Why would you even accept that, bro? That you're telling someone to apologize. Don't accept that apology. Though that if they say that, if they apologize, that apology means nothing, bro. It's an empty apology because you had to ask that person for it. They're empty words, bro. And see, these people are aware that people are not aware of their, of this, so they try to pull fast ones on people. They know what they're doing. They have no problem doing it. They don't feel bad for doing it. Because to them, it's just another day. You know, they don't care about these people. They don't, feel like they have any attachment or, bond to them. That's why if you notice all of these individuals, right, who are like this, normally are older individuals and have no spouse. They have no wife, no girlfriend, no nothing like that, right? They just tend to sleep around like all of these individuals, like Takashi, like Savage, like Whack, C-Man. They go from girl to girl and girl, and you know what I mean? And they don't have a stable relationship or a stable foundation because of their overall behaviors, right? Because they just use and abuse people. Why their circle of friends always keeps changing, right? And why they can't find a woman to actually stick around because these individuals manipulative ways, right? And just their overall behavior and always plotting and paranoia, you know, that it scares women away, bro. Or they just see women as just what could they do for me, right? But not ever trusting a woman fully, right? Because they trust nobody but themselves, right? That they always suspect is, all this and that, and why they end up being sleazeballs to begin with. That's why, if an individual is at that age and is not, does not have a relationship and something like that, that is already a flag. Now, what type of flag? Depends, right? And each individual is different, right? But it should alert you that, maybe you should look at this individual's overall behavior because, 9 times out of 10, behaviors like that, normally come with some baggage to it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just how, it works, bro, because 9 times out of 10, it's always right that there's something to these individuals. It's not hating, it's not, you know, insulting, it's just coming, being rational, bro. That's how, you know, law enforcement and detectives and individuals who study psychology, therapy, body, human behavior, everything, right? It's something that how they solve crimes, or how they figure out about an individual's background, right? By piecing this puzzle together using those key elements, right? That they're able to piece together how a scenario happened word for word, and people can say that those are lies because even people that have committed the crimes, have confessed and said, damn, how did you guys end up finding out that it went like this and that? Because to them it blows their mind that they were able to piece it when they weren't there, but because everything else told the story. So you don't have to be there in order to know what happened, just by piecing together from the facts that and going based off of the human behavior of civilization, you're able to grasp and get a hold of an idea of what's happening. But those are just my opinions on the matter. You go ahead and leave what you think in the comments. I'm Shadow. We out.